Hey there, how's it going? What is up, everybody? Irish Orangutan is back to pass along the updates and info to make the most of your Madden team. Enjoy! Today we are back to talk about the best team no money can buy in Madden 20 Ultimate Team. Haven't talked about this for a little bit, so thankfully all the words came out, hopefully in the right order. But very excited about the team and what we've been able to do. We're just making small additions and where we think they can really make the most difference. On the offensive line, we haven't done a whole bunch. Did drop Joe Thomas and have since picked him back up. Just love what he is able to do. Definitely the best offensive lineman in the game. Lane Johnson was a late addition. I did get him by playing through with enough blitz bolts and picking him up. I think I had to get to 6,000, so it did take quite a few house rules. The reason I really like him is his athleticism. Obviously, you can see that speed at 83. He's one of the highest paid right tackles in the league right now. Kind of understandably so. There aren't a lot of them, and he's very good in the game as well. Obviously, a little bit boosted. We have zone run, which gives him a +2, and then the Madden running, which gives him a +1 there. Again, looking at the run blocking, pass block power, and pass block finesse mainly, and then the physical stats after that. Awareness can make a difference, especially if your center is strong at that position, and then that can potentially fill in for some of those weaker spots, at least one. Is the proper way to say that. But Lane Johnson's really the only add on the offensive line. We do have the lower tier Deerdorf. To be honest, the other Deerdorf I might as well go out and get. But at this point, I guess Deerdorf is in the lineup as well, but Morgan Moses is a good option there as well. Just a cheap option that we can fill in. Just one more Washington player there if we potentially would want to get out Vernon Davis for the new Hawkinson that we could potentially add to our team. Thankfully, I do have his rookie premiere. And to be perfectly honest, have not actually looked at this card since he has upgraded on my team. I believe I have seen his stats a couple other times, just what he would upgrade to. But as you can see here, he is a little bit down in some areas, but his run blocking is better than Vernon Davis. So just something to keep in mind. Hopefully we can get a power up for Vernon Davis so we can add a little bit of speed to him and make him one of the best tight ends in the game. Really do not play with him a whole lot. I was going to say do love playing with him. Did really love playing with his card last year, so does play rather similar. Run blocking is a little bit lower than I would like to see, to be perfectly honest, though. For the skill positions, it does hurt a little bit to have Michael Irvin here, but really looking across the stats, he is simply the best at that position, and I was able to get him very inexpensively. Did power him all the way up to make him as good as he is. I do not think that he will be on the team long term. Once he becomes the second or third best wide receiver on the team, I will probably have to go and move on from him because I will be able to sell him since he is not one of those Nat players and also not a Washington player either. So I'm going to be able to move on from him. And Torrey Holt doesn't barely see the field at this point and should be getting a little bit of an upgrade to his card as well. At the running back position, we do have the upgrade to Barry Sanders. Absolutely love the way that he plays, and you can kind of understand why when you look at the back of his card. I have been able to, and have actually had for quite some time, that Madden boost for that +1 speed. So that does help out all of my players and does just give Barry Sanders and the Tyreek Hills of the world a little bit of boost over those players to just get past them. Once they get into the second level, it is absolutely over. Really do like the other people in the backfield as well. Don't really use Clinton Portis as one of the superstar players at this point. Really do love what he does bring. We can look at him, actually looking at his card because it is far more impressive because he does get that +4 speed for the Madden Chem Washington and then the +2 for being the sprinter as well. So very excited about really him being the backup because that is absolutely amazing what he is able to do. And Okoye plays just as frequently as any of the others. Just kind of playing a much different role and just trying to run up the middle compared to trying to juke people out. Definitely just tried to use the juke the first couple times, especially playing with players like Portis more frequently, but using a Okoye to try to run people over works much, much better. At the quarterback position, I have not upgraded to the next Lamar Jackson. Don't play with him enough to be perfectly honest. Really do love what I have been able to do running the football, especially with Barry Sanders and some of the backups. So being able to have a not superstar player at quarterback with this Aaron Rodgers and have his release be so tremendous, and just really have a valuable player that is not a superstar. This George Kittle is a power up past, being 89 speed and having that run blocking, and also just flat out being able to be a very, very good pass catcher does give him a leg up over all of the other tight ends in my mind. So thankfully have been able to power him up throughout the year and now have him maxed out as well. So that is what we have for the offense. As of right now, very excited about what they bring to the table. Just try not to make any mistakes and really let the defense work. And on the defensive side of the ball, we do have all of those players up. Have been just playing with a whole mess of strong safeties instead of getting into the free safety game. Am going to hopefully change that up as defensive backs come out into the game. Ken Houston hopefully will get an upgrade as well. We will be finding that out in the next few hours. Can't believe it is 5 right now. But sorry, very excited about the players that I do have at the strong safety position. Though 95 speed, Adrian Amos is absolutely outstanding. He can fly and catch up, playing that deep third or deep half or quarter. If those guys are playing quarters and actually don't drop off on one of the comebacks or one of the underneath routes, they just cannot toss the ball over the top, to be perfectly honest. Absolutely love what they bring to the table. And just looking across the board, Amos isn't necessarily the best. I do think Tillman is the best, but I am playing him in the box at this point. So very much appreciate what he does bring. But with that lurker and enforcer, can do a lot with him as a user. And he's not that strong in man coverage, although I don't really run a lot of man. Just something to keep in mind if you are playing with him, as everyone does have him. I'm sure that you are. This Ken Houston, really like him as well. Again, hopefully he gets that upgrade this evening also. And then, of course, we have Ed Reed back there as well. The big addition, of course, was this LT. 92 speed right outside linebacker is just absolutely scary. Toss on 92 block shed, 94 power move, and 93 finesse move, and you can just play this card until the end of the year and not really worry about it. And the thing of it is, I have another right outside linebacker that has pretty much the same athletic stats, not necessarily the strength. Now that we look at that again, especially with that being knocked down with that sprinter, going to something without the +2 speeds is something that I talked about when talking about the physical counts, doing that potentially later on in the year as some of these guys get up, and then we'll be able to get that strength back and potentially just knock down one of those speeds when everyone is close to maxed out. But this Clowney, absolutely love him coming off the edge. He was actually the person that I had fully cummed out, and LT was not right before he had gotten this card, because I just really love that extra speed, trying to run down some of those speed linebackers on the outside. And we have one more right outside linebacker with absolutely tremendous physical ability. 91 speed, 92 acceleration is just absolutely crazy. Have not tried to use her with him, but that is something that I absolutely should do. And if I see a couple players that are weak in finesse, probably would bring in Bosa because he is just a specialist, but we'll get to him a little bit later. But if you can run that Montez Sweat and get him past someone who has a poor finesse move really quickly, really something to think about. That definitely is maxed out because I do have Washington passing D not maxed out, but have a considerable amount invested in that. Shazier got one more upgrade, got up to 92 speed, so just absolutely love the speed that I am able to put out onto the field. And I don't think I was able to push down. Definitely hit it, but evidently was not in the back screen. But just the speed and now the hit power and finesse power move, block shedding, and in the defensive backfield, zone and man coverage, it's just starting to get scary out there, to be perfectly honest. Zach Brown, someone I probably don't want to play straight away, but do absolutely love what he does bring. That Devin White looks very comparable to him, but when I am able to just stack kind of the middle linebacker position when I play a lot of strong safeties there, it's very, very useful. And then Kerrigan, of course, got an upgrade. Could not overall, but definitely the average, I guess, of this Kerrigan. So obviously, we're looking at, but he does actually specialize in being able to get at the quarterback very, very well. And Night Train Lane absolutely adds something to my defense. Talking about that speed a little bit earlier, and you can see those 90s plus all the way across the board. He is someone that you probably want on your team because he also backs it up with strength, ability to catch the ball, not necessarily the best ability to run after the catch, the 95 jump, 76 tackle, and just ability to, well, actually that elusiveness does look real nice. Juke move looks really good as well. But just ability to get after players. 66 block shed is very, very good for a defensive back, especially with that speed. So just an absolute must have in this time when so many people are running, especially with those absolutely maxed out running backs. Going back across the board, we're looking at Fabian Moreau. Thankfully, is fast enough without sprinter to actually get on the field, and with those near maxed out Redskins pass D, it really helps him out with that man and zone coverage, especially with that press getting up to 97. If I ever were to run that, do want to go look and see how close. Is that the first? So yeah, we do have 24 out of 28, so close to maxed out anyway. And on the defensive line, Deacon Jones was another big add for me. 83 speed, but looking a little bit lower. 93 block shed, 96 power move, and 90 finesse move. Someone I can just keep on the field. That will do a tremendous job for me. Looks very similar to that Aaron Donald. If you have a theme team for Washington or not St. Louis, excuse me, LA Rams, you can definitely get two maxed out right ends and then move Aaron Donald to the inside. This is my other power up pass. Clowney I did purchase as he got significantly cheaper as all those outside linebackers did come out. Long. Absolutely love him. So just have pretty much three right ends, playing them all out of position. Do actually have them to the point where I can play them out of position and have kind of thought through where I should be playing them to still get those stat boost. I'm going to start looking toward run stuff and lockdown instead of just having balance D. But as you can see, I really like what that brings also. I'm going to start being able to add some of those Madden things on defense to help out a little bit more as well. Champ Bailey, as you can see, is down to my number 4, but he is a tremendous cornerback as well. Really could be playing probably him over Fabian Moreau, but don't really get to play with a Fabian Moreau all that often. So, and paid a pretty penny for him, so definitely is worth giving him a shot for a while, and have liked how he does play, but Champ is a little bit better in a couple of areas that you probably should ponder. But that is really what we do have on special teams. Keep bouncing back and forth with the punter. Do really like how Kern plays. That 92 kick power, is tremendous. Way probably is going to get a new card at some point. He always is one of the best in the NFL, and hopefully he'll get a Football Outsiders, if not something else, coming here soon. Do have Cleo Mack, probably should sell him before the next crash in the market. Did pick him up halfway cheap. Have not played him a whole bunch, but he does fit in some situations. Did say I was going to talk about Bosa a little bit. Just that finesse move up to 97. Put him over an Alex Mack or Frederick, and you're able to just let him eat. So just consider that if you do have the ability to complete that set yet. But that is what we have for the best team no money can buy. Very excited I was able to make it through Blitz, get a whole bunch of training, and I've been selling off all of those 77 and 78s. So that has been going tremendously. Hopefully your team is continuing to grow as well. I wish you all the best and take care. Thanks for checking out the Irish Orangutan channel. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell button to get all the Madden updates and info you need to put together a team better than your friends and win more head-to-head games online. Until next time, much love.